right, good evening everybody. My name is Julie Brown. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'd like to welcome everybody tonight. We are again looking at another new suite in the new annual catalog from Stampin' Up! I'm really excited about this one. I was in love with this one from the time that I saw it. So we're going to be playing with the Playful Pets Suite tonight. So I'm really excited about that. Again, if you guys are coming on, please make sure that you say hello and in the comments and let me know that you're here. Also, if you have any questions while I'm going over anything, please do not hesitate to ask questions. I do need to do a little bit of housekeeping right here at the beginning, so let me put this up here. So here are my upcoming events. I have a stamp class coming up Thursday, June 18th at 10 a.m. I also have another one coming up. I have one Thursday night as well, but it is full. And then I have a Stampin' class Saturday, June 20th at 10 a.m. and I have one spot available for that. The online class that I am going to be doing is also on June 20th, and that's going to be happening at 2 p.m. You must register for that by June 11th so that I can get kits to you in time. And we will be working with the Celebrate Sunflowers stamp set. And coming up in August, is the first ever Stampin' Bingo, and I will have the date and time is to be announced with obviously more information coming out on that. So I'm really excited about that one. And then for those of you that still need to place orders this month, there's the hostess code for June. And you order at juliebrown.stampinup.net. And again, please follow me on my Pinterest page and my blog at juliebrown.blogspot.com. And then my Pinterest page is the same name as the page here, which is Julie's Creative Stamping. So I would love, love, love to have you guys join me and follow my blog and let me know, what you think of the things that I put on my blog. Always make sure you comment if you go and visit there. All right, so let me get the catalog because I want to show you. Hopefully this is right side up for you guys. Can't tell if it is or not. Yes. So the Playful Pets Suite is on page 40 of the annual catalog, and it includes this stamp set with dies that cut out of I believe it cuts out all of the animal images. So just so you guys know, when you're looking at a catalog, if you ever wonder like what the dies cut out, see how these are darker gray? That's kind of telling you that that's what the dies cut out. So that's just kind of a good way to know if you're in question as to, you can't really tell by looking at the picture of the dies. Just look at the page, and anything that is highlighted like this is what it cuts out. Let's see if I can find another one. So this one is the Hippo Happiness, and again, you can see that they've put kind of a gray image around everything that the dies cut out. So just so that you know, when you're going through your catalog, that's how you do that. So hey Mel, hey Patty, I'm so glad you're both here tonight. So that's just kind of a little update on how to tell whether or not, or which dies cut out which stamped images. So let's go over the paper for this set since we're going to be playing with this tonight. And I need to get started because I had way too much fun with this set. But I do want to show you the paper. Of course, I've used a bunch of it, as usual. But the paper's really cute. And I do apologize if we start. I've been working with my internet and I still don't know if it's fixed. So anyway, so there's one side of the page, which is totally adorable. Hey, Brenda. And I don't know if you can tell, but this side is kind of like it's got the real red striped, like pinstripes on it. And then this is the second dog page. and that has the fun little footprints on the back. And then it has the kitty cats. And on the back of the kitty cats is this image. I can't tell if that's cat hair or what that is. And then here is the second kitty cat page. And then that has little fish and hearts. Oh, yay, Brenda. I'm glad you ordered this one too. And then it's got this fun page. This one's for the dogs. And then it has, it says bark, woof, love, wag, scratch, everything to do with dogs. And then this one is for the cats because it has the little things that you play with the cats and the cat food. And then on the back of that, it says purr, snooze, yawn, meow. So again, really fun. And that's just another one of those. So I just want to tell you what I did. So I love this paper right here. Oh, and I wanted to let you know too, sorry, on this page, the die cut does cut out this dog right here. And on the second cat page, the die cut cuts out this kitty. But I kind of wanted to play with all of these individual dogs. And so I'm going to show you what I've been doing today with this set. I think I just bent some paper in there. Let me get all this back in here. So what I did is I actually took the time, believe it or not, to look at my two piles. So I actually cut out, I took one of those pages of dogs and cats of each of the, because there's 2 different dogs, 2 different cats, and I cut them out. So we're going to have a lot, and look how many you get when you do that. There is just tons in here, tons in here. And that's just from one of the pages. So exciting. All right, let's get started on our first one. And let's see. I'm going to bring in, oh, let me show you the cards first. I'll show you the front of them, not the inside, because the insides are kind of fun. So we're going to do this one, and this one. So these are the fun cards that we're going to do tonight. So let's go ahead. We're going to do this one first. So let's get started with that. So for this one, you actually don't need a lot. So I used the soft suede base. I know, Mel, can you believe it? 5.5 by 8.5. And I'll tell you what, you know, it wasn't really that hard to cut them out. I thought it would be, especially with the cats with their tails, but it wasn't that bad. And then you need, for the inside, you're going to need a 4 by 5.25. And then I'm using this designer series paper, and this was cut at 2.5 by 5.25. And then I have a strip of real wet red that is 1 inch by 5.5 inches. And then I have a basic black piece, and that is 1.25 by 3. Brenda, did I order the whale set? Not yet. That's on my wish list for my next order. And then this extra piece is 4.25 by 5.5 because this is the piece we're going to stamp on. So let's get stamping. All right. So this is that fun. Look how fun that stamp set is. Just so much fun. All right. So we're going to bring in our... And I guess I should be telling you, this is my size D block. I've always failed to tell you guys what size block I'm using. All right, so we're going to stamp him here. And then let's just hit this in the middle so I can already have it here and ready to go. And again, I hope my internet does okay. It's been lagging a lot lately. I don't know if it's because we've had all this road construction in front of our house, because I know our power's gone out a couple of times. So I don't know if maybe I need to call the internet company and have them come reset or what's going on. Because ever since the road construction started, I've had a lot more problems with my internet. And like I said, they've zapped our power a couple of times. Okay, and then I'm going to take this little saying that says, I hope your day is a real treat. And I'm going to stamp that on this page as well. And then I'm going to stamp, it has a little dog or kitty bowl, whichever you're working with. I like both cats and dogs, so this paper was perfect for me because I love them both. All right, and that's gonna stamp there. And then we're going to take the little, there's a little tiny one that says enjoy. And I want to get that one. And just stamp that right there. All right, I think that's all the, oh, nope. Like I said, I wanted to go ahead and get all the stamping done. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in, I'll set this one aside. I am going to bring in our inside of our card. And this one, I'm bringing the dog back. And I stuck him here. And I just kind of chalked up or inked up the top of him. And then I'm just going to stick him like he's poking his head up right there. And then I am going to bring in, because I wanted this to be a happy birthday card. So as you guys know, I'm going to bring in my peaceful moments, but I did find another one. Let me see if I have it where I can get to it really quick, because I wanted to show you this one, because I know you guys are probably bored because I'm always using this as my sentiment stamp set. But look at this one. I know I need a Dalmatian stamp. Okay, so this Mini Mates one is kind of the same as the Peaceful Moments. It has happy birthday, happy anniversary, get well soon, just thinking of you, congrats, celebrate, thanks. So this is another really good for sentiments. So keep this one in mind. It's called Mini Mates. And we're actually going to be playing with this one in a couple of days, I do believe. Okay, so then I'm going to come in with the Peaceful Moments. And I'm going to use that happy birthday from there. You know, when I'm getting sentiment stamps, I always try to look and see which ones will be the most versatile for me. Because, you know, I do so many different cards and I like to have a lot of different sayings. So that new Mini Mates one is a good one, besides this one, which is Peaceful Moments. So I'm doing this in Real Red. And I'm going to bring that in here and stick the happy birthday. All right, so that is, oh, good, Mel. I'm glad you got that one, the Mini Mates one. Yay. So yeah, you'll have to let me know. I mean, I've got it too, obviously. I just showed it to you, but I haven't played with it yet. So again, I just like, you know, I like to make sure I have as many sentiments as I can. Okay, so I'm going to bring this one back in because we're going to color this little puppy up. And I believe I did him in, why can't I find, I don't see those colors. I've got my color thing. Are these the blacks? Oh yeah, that's it. I was like, it didn't look like the blacks. So basically what I did is I took the dark basic black and I just kind of went over the areas that already kind of had some shading in it. But then I also did like where the lines are between and just brought that out a bit. Hey Shanine, I'm glad you're joining us. And then I'm going to come in with the light basic black. And we're going to color him in. And I made sure that when I got down here around the eyes, I was careful not to go inside the eye. And the one thing you guys have to remember about these Stampin' Blends is that when you're using them, they always look a little bit darker. Then once they dry, they lighten up quite a bit. Well, not like tons, but they light up. So I think I want to put, actually I want to bring back in my dark and do the tip of his nose in the dark. And then we'll go right behind the nose. And I am trying to color fairly fast because I put that dark down on quite an area. So, and I want to make sure we blend that in. Because, I mean, I want it to stand out because they are the lines, but then I also want it to blend so it looks natural. So let me finish up with this. And so tonight, this is kind of the only card that I'm really stamping the images on. And I don't want you to get the impression that I don't like the images, because I do. But I had so much fun with that paper that I had to show you everything I did with the paper. So please don't think that I'm not in love with the stamp set, because I absolutely am. And then I brought in the dark real red to do his collar. And then while I've got this out, I also colored in his little dog bowl with the real red. All right. And then let me just get this other guy colored really quick. So I want to know what everybody's favorite in the catalog is so far. Because now that you guys finally have your catalogs, what is your favorite set so far in the catalog? So that's my question for everybody. Whoops. Almost colored the dog red because I wasn't paying attention. So let's see if any of you have a favorite. What's like the top of your wish list? Obviously, Mini Mates was for Mel since she's already ordered it. But what about the rest of you? And I hope that all of these videos have helped you guys, because I know for me, sometimes I start looking through that catalog and I just, I can get so overwhelmed because there's so many things that I like. And so that's why I do these videos for you guys, is, you know, to try to help you determine if that's going to be the set for you, you know, if that's something that you're going to like. So no one's answering. Does nobody have a favorite in the catalog? You know, you guys need to play along with me a little better. I want to know what your favorites are. All right, and then I'm just going to do a real red with this guy. All right, so that is, and I'm sorry, I am going to do this guy really quick too. So sorry for, you get to watch me color. Hopefully it's relaxing for you. To watch me color, right? Let's bring this in. Oh, thanks, Patty. So Patty says she has too many pages marked. But I make her laugh when I tell her she has to play along, so okay. All right. So let's see, I'm waiting for Patty. She says, but she'll pick one. I know, Patty, I know what you're saying, because, oh my gosh, I have so many things marked in my catalog. I'm just, Luckily, I'm a demonstrator, so that kind of helps me because, you know, it helps me to play with them. And there's some that I order just kind of to show you guys and that I end up just absolutely falling in love with. So that's kind of fun for me. Okay, let's see. Oh, so Brenda likes the suite with the brick. So that's called the oh, you caught me too. Shoot, why am I thinking Good Time, but I don't think that's what it's called. Yeah, I like that one too, Brenda. So Patty likes the Nothing's Better Than. Yeah. So thanks for playing, all of you, while I'm coloring to keep all of you from getting bored. Oh, so Patty, you like DSP, but the designer series paper, but you love paper. Yeah. You know, and we're lucky that Stampin' Up! Does such a good job with their paper, aren't we? Their paper is fantastic. Okay, this is the only time I'm gonna bring in my Big Shot tonight because I pre-cut almost everything else. I think there's one more thing I might have to cut out. But I wanted to pre-cut things for you guys because it's gonna be crazy tonight, everything that I'm gonna show you. So, oh, and I didn't even show you the set. That was silly of me. So, okay, really quick, sorry. So it's the Pampered Pets is the stamp set. And then it has this fun die. And then I'll show you the ribbon that goes with it because we're playing with the whole suite tonight. So, it's going to be fun. All right. So that fits there. And you guys know that even though I have my magnetic base down, I tend to tape it down because sometimes even though I've got a pretty flat piece in here, especially when I'm doing a more intricate, even though this is framed, it has all this like his little hair that kind of sticks out. So I always want to kind of make sure everything stays where it's supposed to. All right, so let's run this through. Oh, so Brenda, you're also liking the Evergreenery suite. Oh yeah, I love that. That's what, you know, that's the one suite that I ordered just to demo for you guys that I didn't think I was gonna like, and I absolutely fell in love with it. So yeah, goes to show. Sometimes you don't think you're gonna like them, and you do. Okay, so there's our little puppies cut out. And then what I did with the rest, oh, I guess I better put my dies back before I lose them. It's a good habit to get into. Oh, and I did want to show you guys this because someone asked me this. So when I get my dies in, I take them off this paper and I glue down magnets to it. And I want to show you what I use because somebody asked me that not too long ago. So I actually go to Home Depot or Lowe's and I buy these vent covers. And they come this long, but you just cut it down. You just cut it down to the size that you want. So that's just so you guys know. It's these vent covers. And then I just glue it to the back of that piece of paper. And then that's what I use for my dies. So someone had asked me that, and I forgot to address that the last time. So I wanted to make sure I took care of that so that all of you, I'm answering everybody's questions. Okay, so then we're just going to take our snips, and we're just going to fussy cut around this. I know, can you believe how much cutting I'm doing lately? I guess that just goes to show you that I'm getting comfortable with cutting. I never wanted to say those words, but it has happened, folks. I have gotten to be okay with cutting out, which I can't believe. Like, seriously, when I say I never played with paper dolls because I hated to cut them out, that is an absolute truth. And now look at me. Look what Stampin' Up! Has done to me. So again, with the words, I just kind of follow the curve of the words just to give it some interest. All right, so I'm going to set that one there, and then I'm going to do the same thing around this saying. Like I said, you just kind of want it to be a little bit wavy when you're doing this. And so you just try to find those curves and look for where you can make it turn and have some interest when you're doing this. Oops, my scissors got caught on something there. All right, so there's that one cut out. All right. Okay, so now I think we're about ready to start putting the card together. All right, so we're going to bring in our card base. We're going to move our little puppies over to the side here. And then the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to put some adhesive on the back of this because got to open my adhesive. Oh, shoot. Because we're going to use, so this is the ribbon that comes with this suite. It's really cute. It's this red stitched ribbon. And then it also comes with this black and white twine. So those are the two ribbons that come with the suite. And so, and actually I didn't even get this where I needed it. I forgot no. So I'm actually going right across the exact bottom. So I'm basically going to stick that there, and I want this to go exactly across the bottom. And I'll show you what I did to kind of make it stay in place, because it really didn't want to stay in place. And so I'm going to use my liquid glue once I get it down on the page. And I'll show you that little trick in just a second. But again, you want this like right at the bottom. And then you're going to finish putting your adhesive. And then this is going to go directly onto the front. And we are lining it up at the top. Okay, and then what I did was I came in and I just little itty bitty, like very thin amount of glue, but I just put some little tiny dots, and unfortunately I don't think you guys are going to get to see them because they're so tiny. You might be able on the red. I'll see if I can hold it up closer to the camera so you can see what I'm talking about when I say thin dots. Can you guys see how little those dots are? So just little dots. You know, sometimes we think we just need a ton of glue, and you don't. And then what I did was I just pushed that down so that it stayed right at that bottom edge. Make sense? Yay! Okay. So then I came in with my little doggy for the left. And we're going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals. And we're just going to go ahead and use the big ones, because then I don't have to put as many on there. And I basically just kind of get the main areas. And so I'm going to get those off. And we're going to stick that. I kind of put him at an angle there, and he's also going to help hold that ribbon in place, which is good. And then I put my one that's facing away from us. So he's going to go on here. And again, I just kind of only used 3. sometimes with these animals, you do have to, if they're little, you have to end up using the mini glue dots, which are dimensionals, Stampin' Dimensionals, which are good, which I am going to need to use. I'll have to pull those in for these two. And actually, I think, yeah, I did this. So we're going to do the dog bowl is going to just go directly down. Ah. I can't wait for you guys to see the last card. I'm so excited about that card. It's a fun fold card. We're doing a fun fold card tonight. So, yay. I kind of find that the animal, any of the animal stamp sets, the animal images, tend to be really good for fun fold cards because they just have the images have a lot of personality in them, which helps with the fun fold cards. Okay, so this is sticking to me, so let me see if I can get it loose. And then this, where it says enjoy, is going to kind of be centered right above the little dog dish. And then what I did with this piece, this is the, what is it, 1.5, yeah, by 3, is I brought in my corner rounder, and I'm just going to round the corners. So it's just about getting all the corners rounded. Oops, almost did that the wrong way. All right, oops, I got a little bit off. No big deal. I didn't get that pushed in quite all the way. When that happens, you can either put it back in and do it again, or just leave it. Okay, so then I took this piece and I'm gonna put this at an angle, and I'm going to glue that down with the liquid glue. Just stick that on there. And that's gonna go right there. And then I'm going to use our new, yay! Remember our what is this one called? The Lovely Labels Pick-a-Punch. And so I want this design, and I cut this just a little bit below the 1 inch. And remember, I taught you guys how to use this. Oh, this is way too long. What was I thinking? Hold on. I've got to cut this down to the size. So that one was 1 by 3. Yeah, this has got to be cut down to about 3 inches. Let me grab my cutter. I don't know what I was thinking on that one. My goodness. I was just going crazy with that long piece. All right, so we're going to stick that in here. Turn it that way. And then, like I said, I'll show you the back of this, because sometimes when you're pushing these in, like that one got a little, it gets a little sideways in there. And so you can just kind of come in and straighten that up. And then you just want to make sure it's all the way up to the top. And then I'm going to punch that side. I guess it would help if I turned my lights on. Oh my gosh. I thought I was ready tonight. Craziness. There we go. Yay! Now you guys can see a little better. I'm losing it, people. You would think I would notice that it was a little darker than normal. So again, I'm going to just kind of take my tweezers and I'm going to push from this other side, and I want to just make sure that that is straight on there. Because I have found that if you don't have this piece cut down just a smidgen to where it fits smoothly in there, it kind of goes in at an angle, you can still do it, but you just want to make sure that you look at the back and make sure that it's lined up on the back. Okay, so then what I did was I'm going to bring in some of our twine. That should be enough. And then I'm just going to kind of wrap it around to where it's like different lengths. That might be a little too much. Bring it in a little shorter. And then I'm just going to bring in my glue dots. And we're going to stick a glue dot right here. And what I'm mainly doing is trying to catch the very tip. Oh yeah, I didn't even mention that, but yeah, like Patty said, I did label my, let me bring that back in. I did label my punch so that you guys, so that I know what sizes to use. So I label everything. All right, so let's, I think I want to pull it in. Nope, I think that's good. And then this one, I'm just going to bring in a glue dot kind of in the center just to catch the edge of this. And I just kind of do that just to make sure it doesn't come loose. Then I'm going to take dimensionals again, and we're going to pop this up on the front. And like I said, everything I'm using tonight is part of that Playful Pets Suite. This suite is just so stinking cute. So I'm just going to kind of push that in, and then I'll lay that label over. And you can still, if you'll see, you can still adjust your ribbon so that it the way that you want it. And then I just, for this saying, I hope your day is a real retreat, I just took my liquid glue and stuck that on here. And then we're going to flip this over and stick our inside in. And always check to make sure you have it facing the right way. I'm too embarrassed to tell you how many times I have put my inside of my card upside down because I was not paying attention. Okay, so there's our first card. So there's the front. What do you guys think? I'm in love with this card. And then there's the inside. All right, so there's that one. Yay, card number 1. Okay, so for card number 2, now, for those of you guys that joined late, I want to explain again. I cut out the paper because the paper in this set has these really cute dog images. And this particular image you can cut out with the die. And then there's a cat one that you can cut out. So I cut all these images out. Yes, I know, unbelievable, right? But I just really wanted to play with the paper. So these next 2 cards is playing with all of these images that I cut out. So there's not a ton of stamping, but there is some funness still that we'll be playing with. Okay, so for this card, we're going to use the cinnamon cider as our card base. And again, it's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then you're going to need a basic black that is 4 by 5 1/4. And then a whisper white that is 4 by 5 1/4. And then you're going to need a little red piece that is 1 inch by about 2 3/4. So, all right. So let's get this one started. So guess what we're doing with this one? You're going to be so excited. At least I'm excited. We are doing our press and seal technique once again. Okay. So what I did is I'm going to bring in all my little kitty images. So I got a ton of them. I know I'm not going to need that many. But I know for a fact. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of lay this out. I don't think I'm going to get to use the black one. Don't think that one's going to work so good. And I tried to get a variety of colors. And the other thing that I did was I actually was okay going off the page with some of these kitties. And it probably would have been better, like if you look at the edge of the pages, they have these little pieces that I could have cut out and they would have been perfect to fill in. But I'm not going to do that tonight. But as another time, I would actually use these. So even the edges of the paper, I would use, but I'm not doing that tonight just because for time's sake. So basically, I'm just going to kind of set this up. And where's my little calico kitty? Oh, don't tell me I'm out of my calico kitties. I didn't think I used it that much. I think I buried it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so do you understand what I'm saying? Like this one's going to end up being cut off. So it would have been a good one to just cut that off of the paper and not mess up one of my full cards. But I didn't want to take the time to do that tonight. So that one's going to come in there. And this one is going to come back in down here. And then I need, let's see. I don't know, this one might be a little too big for this. I don't want to like just cut off the whole head of the cat. So let's see what I've got. This one might be fun. Oh, let's do this one. Okay. So then this one will come in from over here. And no, that's too, I don't want them quite that close. But that's a good one for up there. And then let's see what other kitties that we have. What haven't I used yet? So this is another good kitty for this page. And then we might want to come in, let's see. Like I said, you just have to kind of play with this. So maybe we'll just do like part of that kitty right there. Okay, so remember, you lay it all down. And then we're going to take our press and seal. And I actually kind of try to cut this down a little bit. So I'm going to kind of look at like this side and see. I know it's like 4 inches. So, and I'm going to bring in my non-good scissors to do that. So I just kind of measure and I cut that a little bit bigger than the 4 inches. And then remember, on the press and seal, you have a stickier side. So what you want to do is you're going to lay this down, and you got to do this kind of quick so that, oh, see, my kitty's moved. Darn it. I was talking and not paying attention, but no big deal. I'll just set them right back up. Let's push that one up, that one over, and that one right there. Okay, let's see if I can do this quicker now. Okay, sticky side. This is probably the hardest part about this, is just getting this to, and if you just kind of let it go like I just did and lay it down, right? Okay, so then I am going to, one of the things that I learned from this is that if you'll turn this over and take a pencil and actually draw a line so that you know like what part's going to be cut off of the cat, then you don't waste putting dimensionals on that part of your cat. All right. Okay, so there they are. So now I'm going to carefully pull this up away from that black piece. And then I will try to do this so quick, because I know this is like a really boring thing. Let me grab all these other cats out of the way. Ah, kitty cats everywhere. Okay. So then you're just going to come in and you want to kind of go quite a bit below like the lines, because you don't want to be close to the edge on your cats. So what I'm meaning is you don't want a dimensional like right up next to the edge. And the reason I'm saying that is because you'll be able to see it. If I had been smart, I would have used the black dimensionals right now, but didn't think of that until just that second. Okay, so I'm just going to put one there and then one of these little halves that I just cut. Where did I just cut those? My goodness, right there. And then, and a lot of times you're not going to use like whole dimensionals. I use these little halves a lot when I'm doing this press and seal technique. So like I said, this is just a really fun technique to use, and it's so easy. Makes the whole and I want you guys to makes the whole positioning easy, but I want you guys to think about like flowers that you could cut out and then do a whole flower arrangement on your card, and then you know, how pretty would that be, because you would just have it all laid down. Now this has this little tail right here, so I'm gonna actually come in and I'm gonna cut one of these little tiny sections here, because otherwise that tail would just be kind of floating around, and it would want to always try to go down. So you have to kind of pay attention to the smaller portions as well as the larger portions when you're doing this technique. And we'll put one there, and then we'll put one there, and then I'll do one of my littler ones like right up there. Okay, so now we got to pull all these off. And again, I'm sorry that I know this can be quite boring watching all of, oh, I forgot a kitty. Did anyone notice I forgot the kitty? And that's the other thing I will caution you when you're doing this is take your time and make sure that all of the pieces that need to have dimensionals on them have dimensionals on them. Because I've done that before too, where I've gone to lay it back down, and then when I start to pull off the press and seal, I realize that I messed it up because, yeah, because I didn't get my, didn't get one of the Stampin' Dimensionals, and then it pulled that flower or whatever image that was, didn't stick to my card base or my mat. So, all right. Trying to figure out what the easiest way. Sometimes if you're really good, sometimes you can lay this back down this way. And I might be able to do that if I can line up my edges. You know what? Because I have an edge up here, I might be able to do it this way. Let's see. So I'm lining it up exactly with where I drew those pencil lines. Ooh, that worked good. Yay! So now I can turn it over. And then very carefully, now I will say this, sometimes if you stamp an image and it's not completely dry and you try to use this technique and you go to pull up your press and seal, it will pull up some of the like stamped, or especially if you're using Stampin' Blends or markers. If you've colored it in and you don't give it time to dry properly, then when you go to pull this off, it will start to remove the color. Now I could actually use this piece again, right? If I had a place to put this where it wouldn't get ruined. But just so you know, you can reuse those pieces. All right. So then you're going to take your snips and you're just going to come along and you're just going to trim all of those pieces of cat that you didn't need. And then this is what I'm talking about. So now I'm going to save these pieces because like for this instance over here, instead of using a whole cat, I could have just used that piece. So always save these pieces. If this is a technique that you like with this stamp set, save those little pieces because they will come in handy. Like even the tail, like it's okay to just have like this part of the cat coming in, right? Because cats are like that, right? They're always hiding behind stuff. Anyone who has a cat knows that. And even this like little tail, I mean, how cute would it be, right? To like just come in with like a tail hanging in, right? That would be so cute. Yes, Susie, I did fussy cut them. You were late to the party, so you didn't hear that. And then I'll show you something else that I might do with that cat at the top. So, okay. So then you have this, and this is what, I don't know if you guys can see that, but see, you want your dimensionals to be fairly far in, so they're not right at the edge, so that, because you don't want to see that white edge. I'm going to hold on to that because I might do something with that in a second. All right. So there's my cat pieces. Okay. So then I'm going to come in and, oh, yeah. Nope. Let's do the front. Okay. And so I always use liquid glue when I'm putting this on, mainly because it has dimension on it. And so it's easier than trying to now put the snail adhesive. So I'm actually going to just come in with my liquid glue. So just so you know, be prepared to use liquid glue when you're using this press and seal technique. Because like I said, it's a lot harder to put the adhesive on there. All right. So now we're going to come in. I didn't get that quite straight. Another reason why liquid glue is good. All right, so then that's going to go on there. Now this one I cut so that it had an edge around it because I wanted to show you both ways. Because the first one that I did not put the edge around it. Now the other thing that was in here, and I hope I can find some of them, they usually all drop to the bottom, that I filled in on the cats. Believe it or not, I cut these wonderful little things out too. Oh my goodness. Let me get them out here. It's like a little ball and yarn. And they're all a little different. So if you have a Brother Scan and Cut, this works with that. The only problem with the Brother Scan and Cut is that because these critters have a lot of like, I don't know, like different shadings and stuff, it doesn't always pick up the image, and so you end up having to trace around them. So that those of you that know, that have Brother Scan and Cuts, you know what I'm talking about. And so it's probably quicker just, you know, to hand cut them out because it didn't take me that long to hand cut those out. So let me grab a few of these. I want all the same design, so I think I'm going to use those. Okay. All right, so then I brought in these little, it's like yarn, and I'll show it to you close up once I get it on here. Can't tell if I got glue on that. I think I did. So then I kind of came in with these little balls of yarn. So let me show them to you. And then I'm just sticking these in places. And I probably should do this last because the sentiment's going to need to go where we can see it. So I'm going to do the sentiment and then I'll finish filling in with those. So for the sentiment, and I'm not going to do it, the first one I actually did it with black embossing, but tonight I think I'm just going to use, for sake of time, I'm just going to use the black Memento ink. And for this one, I was actually making this one a sympathy card, because again, you know what? Our fur babies are part of our family and we love them. And when someone has lost their little companions, it's really hard on people. And so, you know, it's good to get a card from someone that understands the love of an animal. And I love that this set comes with this. It says, always in your heart, so sorry for your loss. And I really thought, well, you know, that's really cool that Stampin' Up! Put that on there. Because again, you know, we love our fur babies. We really do. And when you lose one, it can be quite devastating. Okay, so again, here I go fussy cutting again. And if I had had a little bit, or had thought about this, I probably could have found a die that would have cut this out really cute, but I wasn't thinking about that at the time I did this card, so we're gonna fussy cut. And again, they come out different every time because I just kind of go around. All right, so then it looks like that. And then I'm going to put this across this middle kitty. And again, I'm going to use mini dimensionals, Stampin' Dimensionals. And I kind of like line it up to where, okay, I know how far it sticks out, so I know where to put that mini dimensional. So it kind of needs to go like right there. And then this one needed to go right there. And I don't put anything in the middle because the cat is holding this up. And the one thing you might want to do is pick the center kitty. Like if you know you have a friend who's lost a cat, you know, pick the cat that looks the most like the one that they lost and put that one in the center of your card. That would be pretty neat if you did that for somebody. I got that a little not straight. A little not straight. Okay, so then again, I'm going to come in with these little pieces. Anybody that's ever had a cat understands they love yarn. My kitties always love to play with yarn. I grew up with cats. We had a lot of cats when I was little. All right, so there's that one. And then I might put one more up there in the top between those two cats. Or you could put another one down here. Again, this is just, you know, you could also, instead of doing, you know, being this intricate, you could use any of our gems or rhinestones or something. Okay, so that's that one. And then for the inside of this one, again, I'm going to use this Peaceful Moments because it has the with deepest sympathy. And bring this in. Yeah, so Susie, I ended up cutting out one whole page of the cats, and there's 2 cat pages and 2 dog pages, and so I ended up cutting out all of one dog page and all of one cat page. Both of all the dogs, both pages. So then I'm going to stick that like that, and then I'm going to pick a fun little kitty to be in my corner over here. But like I said, you know, I really loved this set. So this might be a fun one, a fun little kitty to put in the bottom right there. I love the paper in this set. So that's why tonight I'm really that first card I did, you know, the stamping and showed you the possibilities. And of course there's 2 cat images. This is actually one of the cat images that you can stamp and then color in. And they're absolutely adorable. But I just wanted to show you guys how much fun this paper was. And how much, you know, to think outside the box. Instead of just cutting the paper and putting it on your card, what else can you do with it? So we'll finish this one up, and then we're going to start our fun fold card, which will be the last card tonight. All right, so let's stick this one in here. And luckily on the fun fold card, I pretty much have everything, all the pieces cut out and ready to go. So I didn't quite get that lined up. All right. Okay, so there's our second card. What do you think? So I wanted to show you comparison. So this is if you don't have the border, and then this is if you do a border. So I think they look cute either way. It's just whatever you prefer. All right. All right, so let's get to our last card because this one's going to be fun. All right. So for the last card, you need, I did basic gray, and this is cut, so it's cut at 4 1/4. Oh, I'm glad you love it, Mel. So it's cut at 4 1/4 and then scored at 5 1/2. So, because it's going to fold this way. Okay. So we cut it at 4 1/4 by 11. And then you need a basic black strip that is also cut at 1 inch, but is also by 11. And then you're going to need scrap pieces of basic gray and white to cut out all of these different images. And I think I used a 4 by 5 1/4 for the basic gray. And then you are going to need whatever color you choose, but you're going to need, you can do these all the same size or you can do them a different size. I did them different because of the images that I was using. So this one is 2 by 3, but they can only be 2 inches wide to work in this card. So you can make them as tall as you want, but they can only be 2 inches wide. So you need 2 at 2 by 3, and then you need 2 that are 2 by 2 1/4. And I used real red. And then you need 2, and of course, remember, this is directional paper, so pay attention to how you're cutting it. So you need 2 of the designer series paper that are 4 by 5 1/4. And then you're going to need a basic black piece that is 3 1/8 by 4 3/8. And then a real red piece that is 3 3/4 by 5. And then I use that pinstripe, which this is the other side. And I use the pinstripe, and this is 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to kind of set the front of it up. Let's do the front cover first, and then I'm going to show you the fun fold part of this card. So basically, I just adhered the pinstripe paper first. And you'll want to always do this first before you put the inside in, because it's a fun fold. It's a little bit thick as far as, so trying to lay things like down solid and straight is a lot harder when you have the piece, like you can't really lay it down like this. So that's why I tell you to put this together first. And then we're going to add that real red piece, and I think this is the 3 3/4 by 5. And so we're going to get that lined up. And then we're going to come in with the 3 1/8 by 4 3/8 basic black piece. And then this one, we're just going to try to center the best that we can. All right, so that's good. Okay, so then you're going to flip it. We'll come back and design this in a minute. So then you're going to flip it open. And what you want to do is, before you do any of this fun fold, you want to make sure that you put your designer series paper. You don't have to have designer series paper. I just think it looks cuter with it for this particular one. So again, we're just going to add those to both the inside, both of the covers on the inside. So Brenda, you're a border girl. Yeah, you know, sometimes I do both, but I kind of like the borders too. I think it's because, you know, there was this friend of mine that taught me how to scrapbook. Her name was Mel. And we always chalked everything, which kind of gave it an edging or a way to pop out. So I think that's why I like edges. So Mel, it's all your fault. We always chalked everything. And it's so funny, I'm not chalking it all when I do these cards, but I am doing the little border so it pops. Okay, so that's that. Oh, okay, so yeah, so Susie does have a good point. Instead of wasting all of this paper, you could have cut a frame with like your rectangle frames. You could have cut a frame out and then not wasted the inside or that big piece of paper. So good point, Susie. All right. So now what you do, now you could score this, but I don't really know this, like where to score it. I just know how to do it this way. So you're going to take this strip and you're just going to fold it in half. And then, whoops. And then just bring it down and burnish it. Then you're going to open it up and you're going to fold each end into the center. And you want to make sure it stays straight when you're doing this. So you're going to fold this end in. I know that's hard to see on black. And then again, you're going to take this one and just fold it to the center. Now I'm not going to like all the way to the center. I'm just kind of going like right up to the center. Then what you're going to do is you're going to lay this down here and line it up with your center piece there. And this is kind of the tricky thing here. And you want to bend these both ways so that it bends the way you want it to. So this is where it's kind of tricky because we're used to making everything go flat. In this case, you don't want to, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna open this up and you're gonna put your adhesive here. But then when you lay it back down, you're not gonna make it go all the way to the edge. You're gonna kind of push it so that it bows just a little bit, so that you can just barely see, and it's probably like a 1/16 of an inch off that edge. All right. Now the important thing is when you go to do this side, you want to make sure that you've got your center back on center here. So now I'm going to kind of turn it this way just so I can deal with it a little easier. So now I'm going to, again, just fold that up, put my adhesive, and then just kind of bow it so that it'll bow up in the center. I'm trying to make sure I'm getting this in here straight. And again, it's like a 1/16 of an inch. So I'm not going all the way to the edge. But I've been kind of watching this. Let me see if I can get this closer. So even when it bowed up, this is my score line. I wanted it even with this score line. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so then it's gonna, so then the reason that you want to leave the little edge here is because for some reason it closes better. When you try to put it all the way to the edge, it doesn't seem to close. So what you're looking for is that W right there. All right. So now we are ready to put the inside together. So what I did was I took my two 2x3s and I adhered them to the two pieces that are glued down, if that makes sense. Like I said, I cut a lot of this out ahead of time just because I knew I'd be running a little over. And then you want to leave so that you can see some of the paper down here. And then you're just going to kind of center that there. Then you're going to do the same thing with the piece on for the left side. Lay that one down. Then these two center ones, you want it centered on this. So it's going to be obviously, actually that isn't what I did, sorry. I made it even with this down here. I kept going back and forth on which way I wanted to do this. You can do it whichever way you want. It looks fine either way. You can either center it or you can, and so you have to kind of push this down just a bit. And then you're looking at your two edges so you have the same amount of distance. And then I wanted to have the same amount of distance at the bottom as well. What did I do? Sorry, that was wrong. So I wanted to put it there. Sorry, I've got to take this off. I'm glad I did that before I actually laid that down. That would have been bad. I realized it when I started to stick it down that it was sticking, and I went, oh wait, because it's only supposed to stick to this, not to the paper. So, yeah. Let me see if I can get that up quicker with my other, oh, I don't know where my other one, there it is. I apologize, guys. This is kind of slowing the process down, but this is a glue eraser, if you don't know what this is, for when you do this. You glue something you're not supposed to. And of course I had to get all four edges, didn't I? All right. Again, glad I caught that before I put that down. So these you can put the glue around the edges, but these two middle ones, you only want the glue on this piece here. And then you just kind of get that centered and then push that down. And then same thing on this side. You just run your glue and get that lined up and push that down. Okay, so then when you close it, those two pieces are going to move. Okay. All right. Okay, so then what I did was I want to show you the dies that I use, because these are becoming some of my favorite dies. And we did play with this not too long ago. It's the Tasteful Labels dies. So it's all these really fun labels, and they have, like, some of them have stitching, and then some of them just have where it kind of embosses it, and that's like this one. So let me see if I can get this close enough where you guys, I don't know if can you see the embossing on that? So it just kind of puts an image in there. All right. So then I'm going to put one here. Oh, I did do that. So I took the little heart stamp that's in this set, and it's really itty bitty. I forgot about that step. And so I did do some stamping. So, and it's really important that you get this like as far up in that corner as you can. And then when you do this one, that you get it as far down in the corner as you can. Part of it's going to be covered up, but you'll see what happens working with this die. Okay, I almost forgot about that. Okay, so then what I did was I came in with this piece, and then when I put it in there, see what that does with those two hearts? So it kind of puts those hearts, oh, I guess you guys can't see that. it puts those two hearts. See how we stamped it like this, and then it just lines those hearts up perfectly with that. Yay, fun, huh? And again, I'm going to use liquid glue just so I have some, I want to be able to move this. So again, I kind of can line it up so that the hearts are in that curvy. I want it up a little bit higher. Whoops. Okay, so I put one of those on each of these. And like I said, I just didn't want to take the time to cut all these pieces out tonight, but you know, it's not hard to cut them out. These are just die cutting this out. And then I put that one there. And then I came in with my pups. And so I'm going to put this one here. And I'm going to put the little Yorkie Terrier here. And the little, I think that's a Shih Tzu there. And then on this one, I had a hard time. I was like, what do I want to do? And then I decided I wanted this little crazy dog. Where's he at? Because, yeah, he just looked fun. And I'll show you the other reason why I picked him for there. So again, then I came in with my liquid glue. And the reason I didn't pop any of these up is because usually with your fun fold cards, they already have quite a bit of dimension. So it's better not to, you know, continue to keep popping things up and putting more layers. So you have to kind of pay attention to that when you're doing these types of fun fold cards. Alrighty. Whoops. Don't forget, we still need to do the front of the card. And then my little fun guy here. I'm not putting the lid back on this, and it's so just so you guys know, it's always best when you're using your liquid glue to always put your lid back on, because it does dry in the tip quickly. So I wanted him placed like this, and let me tell you why. Because then it leaves room to write a short message and then sign it. Okay. All right. So then I came in and I used the scalloped or the layering dies along with, look how pretty this is out of that Tasteful. Can you see how pretty that comes out? Isn't that a pretty circle? And that's from this, both of these circles do that in this set. So yeah, fun. So then I took this and I just, again, stuck it on there and got it placed where I wanted it here. And then I glued it down right above the little Shih Tzu. So I kind of went behind there, but I still wanted it down on the paper. Then this is the same one, but I cut it out of the basic gray. And that one's gonna go over here. And then what I did, I need to find a piece of scrap. Then what I did, because I couldn't really find a saying that I liked, but remember this one that we just won or could get from Celebration? It has this "From All of Us." And so I wanted that "From All of Us" stamp. Again, that's why I like sentiment stamp sets, because it allows me to usually find the one I want to use. Okay, and then I'm just going to stick that down there. And then, as you guys can probably guess, we're going to be fussy cutting this out. Let me just cut a bunch of this away. right, so let's see if I can get this done pretty quickly. Again, I've been excited about this set from the time that I saw the catalog. Oh my gosh. I just, I love all of the animal ones. And I don't know if you guys have seen them yet, but there is a stinking cute goat one in here. And a zebra one as well that is just adorable. Okay, so then again, I'm just going to use my liquid glue. And stick that on there sideways. Sorry, I got some of that glue that I put a little too much and it came out. Okay, so now let's finish our front. So the front, I used the big guy. So I took this big dog, which is, I think, a Great Dane. And again, I try not to get a lot of glue like right by the edges where, because I don't want it to smush out from underneath. So I'm going to stick him right here. Then what I did was I brought in the other ribbon, the red ribbon, and I just kind of, I'm using mini glue dots, and I'm just going to kind of do this pattern of back and forth, back and forth. So I want the edge to be up there. So this is going to be kind of be my center with my glue dot. And so I'm just going to kind of lay that down there. And then I'm going to keep laying, and I might just go ahead and lay all the glue dots, because I think it took about 3 or 4. I don't remember. So I'm just going to lay those glue dots. So bring it close so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm laying those glue dots across. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this, and I kind of want it to lay a certain way to where if I wanted to fold it down, I could. So then I'm going to bring it like that. And then I'm going to fold this down up here and bring it back through. And then go back up this way again. And then we're going to bring it down this one last time. And it might need to go a little bit. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So I think that should be good. I'm not sure. So I'm going to leave that there because I need to stamp my little saying. Guess I'll bring this in. So I'm going to use that. I hope your day is a real treat. And let's bring this in. And this is what I should have had stamped and cut out, because you've already seen me use this, right? Just stamp that down there. And then again, I'm just going to fussy cut around this really quick. All right. And then I'm going to come in with, so now because I have it cut out, I can kind of see if I have enough. So I think I want to go up one more time. That's what I was looking at. So I'm actually going to kind of put that on top of that. And then we'll get this folded and come up just that one more time. And then trim that. And then I'm going to come in with Stampin' Dimensionals, and I'm going to put one in this corner and one in this corner. And this time I want the minis. Hope you guys are enjoying these cards. I sure had fun making them. This is just such a fun set. It just leads to, or lends to, good creativity. Okay, so we're gonna try to get that on there straight, and then just push those two edges down. Then what I did is this one comes, oh, don't tell me I've misplaced the charms. These come with these adorable charms in this suite. And it has the dog bones and the hearts. And so I'm gonna show you how I tied a bow with my bow maker out of the black thread. And then I got the heart tied onto it while it was on here. So basically, you guys know how you wrap this. You start like this, you go around those two legs, and then you go through the center. But then before I tied this off, I brought in my little heart and my threader. And I want the heart to face, the other side of this is the front of the bow. Okay? So then I'm going to take my little threader and I am going to pull this through this little heart pendant. Whoops. I may have messed up because I pulled, okay. So then, and I kind of want to get this close. So I have it ready to tie, and I've now strung that through. So then I'm going to pull everything tight, and then I'm going to tie these two pieces together, just like if you were tying a bow. The only extra step was putting that little charm in there. And then I'm going to pull it off, and my charm is tied to my bow. Yay! Okay, and then I'm going to take a mini glue dot and I am going to stick it up here right basically at the edge. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's right touching the edge of that corner. And I am going to bring this up here and stick that in that glue dot so it holds everything down. Then I am going to trim that piece and trim this piece. And then I'm going to bring in my take a pick tool. Oh, I need the other. And I'm going to bring in my pointer, and I'm going to fray these edges of the ribbon. Almost done, guys. We're almost done. So I'm just fraying all of that out. So see what that looks like when it's frayed out. And then to finish this off, again, just like the kitty paper had the little ball of yarns on it, the dog paper, where are my dogs, have these cute little, and I've already knocked it, they're like these little balls that I cut out. Yes, Patty, I did make that bow maker. Because I'm really bad at making bows, so I had to find a tool to help me. So then I'm just going to put some glue on the back of this. And then take these little balls. Oops. And I'm going to stick one up there. And again, you guys could use other types of embellishments. But like I said, I wanted to show you, sometimes we think, why do I need more paper? And I just wanted to show you how fun this paper was. All right, get everything out of the way. So I can. Okay, guys, so it says, I hope your day is a real treat. And then when you open it, it says, "From all of us, happy birthday." I love it. And you could decorate this a little bit more with maybe another stamp. But again, I wanted to leave this so that you could write a short message and then sign your name. So isn't this a fun card? So there's the front, and then from everybody else. Yay! So let me bring in all of our cards to finish off our night, to remind you what all you can do. And again, like I said, this first one was stamping and coloring, because I wanted to show you that. But I was so excited about the paper in this set that I just really wanted to show you, you know, what you could do. And then don't forget the, you know, this is the stamp set and the dies, and then it has all that wonderful paper, and the ribbon that I used, and the gems. So this is everything that comes, including the paper that comes with this suite. So you can see how you can make a ton of cards using this suite. Yay, how fun, right? So this is the information. That is the Playful Pets Suite. That's to buy it all, but as you guys know, you can buy it separately. It is on page 40 of your catalog. So make sure you go and you check it out if you just fell in love with these cards tonight. And we're done. So I hope you guys had fun with that. It was just a blast, and I was in love with that suite. And so Patty, to answer your question, I did make that bow maker, and I made it out of, oh, what is that? Plastic canvas. And so I could probably send you a pattern for that if you private message me, and I can get a pattern out. So you basically just cut it out of plastic canvas, and it makes the small bow like I did, and then it also makes a bigger bow. So yeah, really helpful. I love it. So anyway, and those of you know, if you don't already have a bow maker from me and you do place an order with me, you get one for free. So that's one of the free things. So I am going to end this by putting up my information. There's your hostess code for June. And you order from juliebrown.stampinup.net. And then make sure you check out my Pinterest page and my blog. And I think we're done, ladies. I think this is all I have for tonight. So I will see you again on Saturday at 4 for another fun set of cards. So guys, appreciate it. Appreciate you being here. And we will talk to you soon.